Hello. So I wanted to make a commentary video for Fyrakk, partially because I played Arcane on it and I got rank 1 all mages, and I recently removed my Arcane guide because the rotation changed since I posted it. So this is a really good way for me to commentate, kind of talk through the changes and show you guys what's happening. Um, Also, I just think there's some cool considerations to do on Fyrakk, or at the very least, it's a fun fight. So yeah. Let's talk build and gear first. So let's look at actually what the average Arcane Mage was playing. So you can do a heat map of the top 100 Arcane Mages to see what a lot of them are playing. You can see about half of them are actually playing with Charged Orb and Orb Barrage, and then the other half are playing with the single target build. Though you do and should always take Arcane Cleave. I think Orb Barrage is not very good on this fight, to be honest. There's relatively little AoE compared to the length of the fight, with it being like, 8.5 to, 8 minutes or so. So, yeah. Instead, I just went the single target build, and I took Arcane Cleave. I took the point out of improved Arcane Missiles for Mana Adept. Normally, you would probably drop Mana Adept for Arcane Cleave, but you'll see why. I just need the extra mana, because you end up delaying your Evocate a little bit here. And we did not Lust on Pole, which was not ideal, and also not really that common. So here's me. But you can see a lot of people are kind of lusting on Pole. So by not lusting on Pole, we end up losing out on a full lust in the encounter, which is very unfortunate for, personal DPS. But yeah. Oh wow. This might have been a really early Evocate. Anyway, so we covered our build and stuff. This is my gear. Obviously a 4-piece. I think you'd be kind of hard pressed to find someone doing really well without 4-piece, or at least without 2-piece at this moment. The rest of my gear, however, is kind of bad. I do have a 483 Iridol, but that's the only crazy thing that I have, because this trinket is barely better than Ominous, and I still have Iridius, and I have 447 rings and stuff, so my gear's not that crazy compared to a lot of other people, though this is certainly very nice. Alright, let's commentate. So, with Arcane at the moment, whether or not you're in Lust, you want to do a mana burn on opener before you go into your first burn. Here, since I have 4-piece, I ideally want to spend 2 clear casting before I go into my surge burn, because since I don't have Lust, since we're not lusting up Pole, I generate and consume a lot less clear casting, so it's a lot harder for me to fit a 4-piece proc into my surge window. So for that reason, even though it's already really important to have a clear casting pre-pull, it's even more important to have a clear casting pre-pull so you can spend your 2 before you go into your burn. Alright, Evocate 5 seconds, and then you just open with the last orb, and then I'm going to burn some mana till about 18 seconds or so on Siphon Storm. So you can see I spent my 2 CC, so I'm going to go into a Radiant Spark combo. I'm doing the tier 30 rotation. That's what you do for your Spark. And now my next missile is going to be 4-piece, and then after that I can fit in the extra Arcane Blast by using Presence of Mind for the last 1.x GCDs to touch the Magi. This is a really good time to mirror image. Instead, I alter at not full HP because I'm just a legend. So yeah, but this fight's not too horrible in P1. You're not really scared for your life. It's worth knowing that after this point, you're delaying your surge until his second phase, so you will be running a bit on fumes for mana, which is partially why I'm taking Mana Adept. Almost entirely, honestly, for this phase, so I can not run out of mana for 15-20 seconds. Mechanics are important, though I suggest you alter time facing the boss rather than like me, turn around. So I want to upkeep Nether Tempest here, just as mana conservation, and once my mana starts to get a lot lower, I'll have to barrage. but I am full channeling all my missiles at the moment. And when my Nether Tempest record turns green, that's when I know I can refresh it and have it not be a DPS loss, really. I wouldn't refresh it here, though, because, didn't have 4 arcane charges. Alright, so right here, I make 2 mistakes. For one, I'm Evocane a little too early. You can see he's not going to land for another 4.6 seconds. So I should have delayed this Evocate till about 2 seconds left on his land, because he's untargetable right after he lands. And the second one is, I want to refresh my 2-piece, right? I have 5 stacks of my 2-piece. If I don't refresh it, and if I just go into my burn without spending this clear casting, it's going to fall off during my burn and I'm going to have to restack it. The smart thing to do here would be to explosion while the boss is still untargetable, because I have my 4-piece, so if I missiles, I waste my 4-piece outside of Surge. Whereas if I explosion, I upkeep my 2-set, and then I keep my 4-set to be used in Surge and Touch the Magi. What I instead do is I do this early Evocate, which is pretty bad. You can see the boss can land, he's untargetable for a second. Now I start it, I missiles, which wastes my 4-piece. I do still get a 4-piece proc in my Surge, but it's not in Touch the Magi, which is essentially the same as losing a 20% damage amp to it. Because Touch the Magi is, just 20% extra damage. I do my Presence Mind to fit in the 2 extra Arcane Blast in the last 1.x GCDs. As soon as my Siphon Storm runs out, I'm going to end up shifting Powering. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I manage him when he runs away, and I shifting Power while he's not hittable. Then you're going to 1 again, refresh your 2-piece by spending your clear casting, and then go straight into your 2-piece, or your mini burn. I do have a 4-piece ready here for my Touch the Magi, which is very strong. Sorry, it's 5 a.m. If you want, that dot that the healers can dispel is removable with Stone Form. Make sure to, full channel your 4-piece buffed missiles. I want to evocate as soon as possible here, so I can try and burn some mana before I Surge. Just makes it easier in mana conservation. I'm doing the 229 rotation just so I can have like a very stacked Surge and Barrage. AoE missiles there, and if you missed it, I did do a Barrage into Orb into Barrage. I use Iridol on this guy as well. I was still in Siphon Storm, however, it's best to get it on cooldown, because it means I'll just get overall more uses out of the encounter, so gotta be watching out for that. It didn't line up very well the last time I did it, so, or the last ad set, which is why I should have used it earlier. And then yeah, those were really the most important cooldown timings of the fight. The rest of it is essentially press it on CD. Though, if you want to watch some P3 gameplay, I don't know, I think this is pretty good. I don't believe I had to do this on the kill poll, but on one of the other polls I had to pick up a lot of seeds. So you can see here I get another early evocate, and I get to burn my mana a little bit. Normally I would swap targets before I start my burn, because you can see the one I'm targeting is getting a lot lower, but I didn't do it in this case, so. And I can AoE missiles and do a lot of damage. You can see my missiles were ticking for like 130k there. Then we palm to end our Touch the Magi, and we're kind of just single targeting and letting my AoE missiles carry me with a couple barrages every once in a while. Here my mini brain's coming back up. I do some extra barrages and then refill with my orb just to cleave down these ads a little bit. I end my Touch the Magi here with empowered missiles. It's probably better to do it with a Presence Mind, because Presence of Mind actually just nets you an entire extra Arcane Blast in your Touch of the Magi window if you use it in the last 1.x seconds. But with I should be Evocane right now, but I was not. It's okay, minor difference. I was not really playing this to parse, in case you couldn't tell. I was kind of trying to kill a boss. I tried to burn as much mana as possible with Double Lust prior to using my Surge Run. I moved it last second there because I was trying to move it out of the seed, but then the seed got moved, so. Normally you want to use your Eardoll when you're in a GCD. I just used that when I wasn't, which was pretty bad. Kind of wasted a GCD. That's alright. Normally you use it when you cast Nether Tempest. So you'll refresh Nether Tempest or just Nether Tempest in general and then press the Eardoll on that GCD. Using my palm to finish it, and then I'm running away. You can definitely do more damage here, right? I could have like Nether Tempest swallowed running away, turned around and start Arcane Blasting or something, but it's alright. "30-man Fyrakk does get a little bit hectic at times. Lots of people dying, I used my Presence of Mind there to get an extra Arcane Blast inside that Touch of the Magi, which is very strong considering I was in Gem, Iridius, and Surge. Here, what I'm trying to do is save my 4-piece proc for this Touch of Magi, which I did successfully without any loss, so that was very good. And here I'm going to use Eardoll again without being in a GCD, I believe. Don't get hit by a tornado when you hit a Shimmer Charge, that's pretty dumb. Luckily I have really good healers. And I don't know why I pressed barrier when the boss had 1% HP, but yeah. There we go. This is actually the mount, the Everglow Ember. So if I go here, chilling on the mount. Pretty cool. All right, that should have covered everything. We covered our build, we covered our gear, we covered kind of just a commentary run by of what we're doing in the game. Showed you some lorgs, which I highly recommend using if you're playing Arcane.